Hey everybody, Billy from Billy's Bike Adventures. Now this is my mate turning up with his 690 Enduro on the back, and this is the start of our Tete France Pyrenees trip. If this is your first time at Billy's Bike Adventures, don't forget to click the subscribe button, the bell notification, and then all to make sure that you get all the updates. This is our route down to Portsmouth today, 164 miles to the ferry terminal to get our ferry to Santander. So a lot of road riding and for some fuel stops and some coffee breaks as well. Not used to sitting on these hard-seated Enduros. When we finally get to Portsmouth though, we realise that we're at the back of the queue with all the other bikes in front of us. However, we are the only Enduros and they sound awesome. This is actually the first time on this ferry down to Santander for me, and to my surprise, it's actually a really nice ferry. Nicely laid out, very comfortable, the rooms are great as well, small but comfortable. The food was a big surprise for me, looks appetising and tasted absolutely delicious, so all credit to the ferry company. Once Stefan and I had finished the food, we cracked on with some beers for the night. Some of us hit it harder than others, and that's because some of us can handle it. Stefan, to his credit, can handle it, I can't. So while Stefan had a well-deserved lying in the morning, I headed down for an very early breakfast, and I was disgusted when he got up because he didn't look like he'd had a beer all night. He looked fresh as a daisy. We arrived in Santander later that afternoon, a couple of hours ahead of schedule, which was great. We had a long ride to get to our campsite destination before hitting the Tete the following day. We had some stopovers, mainly due to...
My ass is f***ing killing me.
At last we get to our camping destination for the evening. Here before hitting the Tete tomorrow, this is Camping Juancho. We're a stone's throw from Saint-Jean-de-Luz, our starting point for the Tete tomorrow. For now though, we pitch our tents and bed down for the evening. Day 3, and we've packed the tents away, packed up the bike, and we're ready for the off. We head over to the starting point of the Tete, which is a Total petrol station just outside Saint-Jean-de-Luz. We stop off though on the route for this lovely seaside town, get some pictures before we hit the trails on a long, exhausting day. With that done, we head off to the official start of the Tete for us. This is what the French Tete looks like on a map, and Stefan and I are starting in the south-southwest corner of France, right near the Spanish border, and we're going to be heading east over the next few days. This is the Total petrol station at the start of the Tete journey for us. We stop here, refuel, get some water, and then we head out to look for tracks. Pull up just before the brow of this hill just to check that Steph is still behind me, but unfortunately when I've turned around, Steph isn't there, and I wait 10 to 15 seconds just expecting him to ride up and pass me, but unfortunately he doesn't come. So I'll ride a little further up, park the bike up and head back down the hill to see if I can find him and check that he's okay.
Is he okay? Has he come off, has he? Has he fallen?
Yeah, he's clear.
Oh, okay. Thanks, mate.
With the jogger carrying on running past Steph, I'm guessing Steph's not too badly injured.
What happened, mate? Oh, you went into the ditch, did you? Yeah. So my mate just had his first off. Following a bit too close, but hit one of these ruts and ended up in the hedge a bit further down there. He's alright, bike's okay, but It's warm, humid, it's hard work walking uphill in motorcycle boots. Anyway, first part of the Tet, first off. I'll keep you posted.
Steph picks his bike up, dusts himself down, and we're back on the bikes. Not only is it the joggers and the mountain bikers that are a constant reminder to take our time on these tracks, but the horses in our bikes are not the only horses that we share the track with. came in really heavy on this part of the track, high up in the mountain. We took our time and just navigated our way through, just in case of oncoming traffic and pedestrians. Having a great time so far, really enjoying the tracks and the tracks that are starting to take us into the forest and some of the bushland on this Tet trip. We come across this field and pretty nice open looking track, looks relatively easy, although I make a complete balls up of it. The camera doesn't, the GoPro's flatten everything out quite a lot, so it doesn't look as steep as what it actually is, doesn't look as bumpy as what it actually is, but regardless, I'll make an absolute hash of it. Keep watching and take a look at what happens. I'd make a complete hash of this track, and to be honest, grateful that I was riding with a mate. And I think that's one lesson for me to take away from something like this is, if you're not an experienced off-road rider, always good to have somebody to ride with, help you out in sticky situations. Having to lift these bikes up a couple of times, even though it's an Enduro or 690 with all the kit on, it's still a pretty heavy bike. So having a mate there to give you a hand, get you out of trouble, is really worthwhile. Jump out. We've had an amazing day so far today, really enjoyed it. It's coming to an end, some stubborn cows just to navigate, and then we're going to park the bikes up, have a beer and reflect on the day's activities. What's really surprised us in doing that today is the distance that we've covered. 77 miles. We'd planned to do 200 to keep us on track to get us across the Pyrenees. We have to re-evaluate tomorrow's riding, and what we decide to do is hit the road all day, catch up on the mileage that we should have done, but we still have a great time doing it. Really good day today, exploring France, going across the Pyrenees, some little villages, some little towns, coffee stops, petrol stops. Had a really nice ride today. It was all on road, but we still had just as good a time as what we did off-road the previous day. We pitch up for the night with some camp food and we have a beer, and then we crack on the following day back on the tracks. that we've just been on was probably the best track that we've had so far of the trip. Unfortunately though, it all came to an end as Steph has had another off, and this time it's a bit more serious. Catch a glimpse of my mate up ahead through the trees. I can see he's on his feet and his bike is upright, so I'm guessing it can't be that serious. However, he's rolled his ankle, and unfortunately this brings our off-road part of the journey to an end. The nature of Steph's injury means that he cannot continue off-road. He just simply can't stand up on the pegs. It's way too painful. All we can do now is make our way back to the main road and find a place to camp up for the night. Left the Tet track now, and I've finished using my Garmin Montana to navigate our way, and I'm now using Google Maps to get us back to a main road. In setting this up though, what I accidentally did was tap the mountain bike icon and not the car icon to navigate a route back to a main road, and so what it's found for us is a mountain bike track. This is not ideal for somebody who's just rolled their ankle and can't stand up on the pegs, so a pretty uncomfortable exit back to a main road. We got there eventually and we did have a chuckle about it, but at the time I thought it very weird that it's taken us through a forest. During camping that evening, Stefan and I take the hard decision to cancel the Tet trip. We've evaluated Stefan's injury and he simply just cannot stand up on the pegs and do any more off-road. It's simply too painful. So we do take the tough decision to cancel our Tet trip. We spend the next few days riding on the main roads back up to Calais and catch our train back to the UK mainland.